All right, gather round, you little chicks, and let me spin you a yarn that'll make your feathers stand on end. This here story is about a little girl named Emily, and it's a tale that'll leave you clucking for more. So, buckle up, you little nuggets, because things are about to get dark, and I'm not talking about the time you got caught in the rain and thought you were a wet hen. No, this is a story that'll have you laying low, hoping the coyotes of fear don't get you. You ready? Here we go. Once upon a time, in the quiet, isolated town of Hollow Creek, there lived a little girl named Emily. Emily was known for her vivid imagination and her infectious laughter, but one day, that laughter vanished, leaving only an eerie silence in its wake. Emily had a peculiar fascination with old, antique dolls. Her room was filled with them, each one more creepy than the last. Her parents indulged her hobby, believing it to be a harmless phase. However, their indulgence turned to horror when Emily went missing one fateful night. The search for Emily was extensive and frantic. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers joined the effort, but there was no trace of the little girl anywhere. The only clue left behind was a single, terrifying doll sitting ominously on Emily's bed. This doll was unlike any of the others. It had a twisted, sinister smile and eyes that seemed to follow you, no matter where you stood in the room. The doll was taken to the local police station, where detectives examined it for any hints that might lead them to Emily. They found nothing but a small, cryptic note tucked inside the doll's dress. The note read, "She's with us now. Leave her be, or face our wrath." The detectives were baffled and unsettled. Who were they, and what did they want with Emily? Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. The town of Hollow Creek was gripped by fear and mystery. Whispers of a curse and supernatural forces spread like wildfire. The doll, now known as the Hollow Creek doll, became a symbol of terror and loss. One brave soul, a local historian named Thomas, decided to delve into the town's past to uncover the truth. He spent countless hours in the dusty archives, poring over old documents and records. What he discovered sent shivers down his spine. The doll was part of an ancient ritual performed by a coven of witches who once lived in Hollow Creek. The ritual was said to grant them power over the souls of children, trapping them in a realm between life and death. Thomas realized that Emily had unwittingly become a part of this dark ritual. The doll was a gateway, and Emily's fascination with it had made her vulnerable to the witch's spell. He rushed to the police, sharing his findings and urging them to perform a counter-ritual to save Emily. With heavy hearts, the detectives and Thomas returned to Emily's room, where the doll still sat, its eerie smile mocking them. They performed the counter-ritual, their voices trembling with a mix of fear and hope. As they chanted the final words, the room grew cold, and an unearthly wind swept through, extinguishing all the candles. When the wind subsided, the doll's smile seemed to fade, and its eyes lost their haunting glow. In that moment, a faint whisper echoed through the room. "Thank you." The detectives and Thomas looked at each other, tears of relief and exhaustion in their eyes. Emily was finally free. But the town of Hollow Creek would never forget the chilling tale of the little girl and the scary doll. And to this day, the Hollow Creek doll sits in a glass case at the local museum, a grim reminder of the dark forces that once lurked in their quiet town. So, you little chicks, remember this tale the next time you're out pecking around. Sometimes, the scariest things are the ones that seem harmless at first. And with that, I'll leave you to digest this story, hoping it doesn't give you nightmares, or at least not more than a fox in the henhouse would. Good night, you little clucks. Sweet dreams.